deeply in the mirror, look deeply in your soul. I mean, no matter what, you can find gold in your soul. There's something you can give to the world. But not everyone can look deeply in the mirror because we know who we are. We see what many cannot see. And because everything comes up to the surface, your eyes cannot lie. Your minds never forget. It's hard. It causes confusion. It causes like a distortion. Nothing is ever forgotten. But you cannot continue to not take action and what has already caused delay. You have to fix your mindset. You have to fix your beliefs, your actions. And you start by this. Ask yourself, what is important to you? That is as crucial as to think about what you always have on your mind. That's what's important to you. Pay attention to what you always think about. Do you know what should be important to you? As in health, wealth, freedom, legacy, and power. So today we're going to discuss on how to knock on freedom's door. In order to knock on freedom's door, you have to understand that freedom comes with prerequisites. You can't just manifest yourself into freedom. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm one day I'm going to be rich. One day I'm going to have the husband of my dreams." One day, no. This comes by a set of belief like yes, you do see in the future you can obtain those results, those things, those people, but who are you going to be until then? Great people, great things, great opportunities don't just come by placing sticky notes or giving yourself self affirmations all day. Things come by action. It's time to take action. It's time to evolve. People. So, you people have to make a conscious decision. And you have to say to yourself, I and those after me will no longer endure the pain and suffering poverty brings. We are going to produce a greater economic impact and social impact to all that come after us. We're going to leave our legacy and empire for those to multiply and take dominion in. This was our designed purpose from the beginning. Understand that poverty will bring and will produce its own social and psychological impact. Let's identify those things. So, I need you to understand that your geographical location, where how you were birthed and born, was strategically designed before you were thought of. And it's if that your people wasn't of great conscious belief to actually change and want you to be provided in better, and if their efforts wasn't for changing that occurrence, then you were subjected to that occurrence. And the occurrence is that you have been impaired from cognitive thinking. You will experience a cognitive distance from this video. Prepare to be. I want to bring you truth, and truth that will set you free. Hard to plan to focus. Psychological disorders. Let's pause here. When I stated that it impairs you from cognitive thinking, impaired means to weaken or damage. How many can say they have been weakened and damaged from thinking, from being beaten, from being abused, for not being provided with the resources necessary, for not being chosen, for being neglected? This is what happens when you are birthed into poverty. It weakens your mind. So if you can't even think about if the natural resources, the resources and necessity that a children, that a baby, that a teenager may need, then how are you going to plan to focus? They ask, plan to focus on what? Your future. This is the attack, the future. Psychological disorders. You got to understand that when when you have cognitive issues being without, this brings on irrational behaviors. This deters you from this allows you to avoid risk. It bursts fear. It bursts of high risk of cruelty. You got to understand that people prey on things that don't have security, that doesn't have comfort, like a baby deer, like how a lion can attack a baby deer, how a lion can, how babies, what is at, what can't protect itself is at risk for predators, for prey. This is what poverty brings. And when you start to understand that this is what poverty brings, then you understand the target in this all. The target is your future, or the target is of oneself. So this is just the social impact of poverty. Let's get to the economic impact of poverty, which is the increased prices, inflation, market instability, economic inequality, innovation, innovative, innovation inefficiency, pricing power. If you already are suffering in poverty, then they already understand that they're targeting low-income individuals with fixed incomes to exhaust their resources, which ultimately turns into unemployment, which then brings us to homelessness. This is the strategy of the enemy. The strategy of the enemy is to damage your foundation first, exhaust your resources. You become a low income or a fixed income individual. You've been decreased in purchasing power, which means now you have to experience higher interest rates if you need a loan, if you need funds, if you need a car, if you need houses. I'm going to outprice the money you can give me, so that all your money you're giving to me, you won't be who you are. So I'm going to impair you from your cognitive thinking and keep you reset in the poverty mindset and the scarcity mindset. And then I'm going to exhaust your resources. I'm going to increase, I'm going to cause inflation to go about. And this is going to call and so look, this is the thing. 90 a lot of I'll say 85% of the world lives in poverty. You understand what I'm saying? And 85% of the world also are in the common functions of everyday life. You need people to work on your cars. You need doctors and nurses. You need the fast food employees to show up so that we can get a quick bite to eat. You need tires, you need gas. But this is the thing. If we can condition these people to only think in limited and lack of source, think about the quality of what they're producing and what they're bringing out and what they're giving to you. They don't even understand that the cognitive thinking that they're being birthed and constantly exercised in is actually causing innovation and not providing great materials to where they're running efficient. And look at your homes, look at your backyards, look at your cars. Let's say this. Let's determine how long a good product may last. And these times, things are not lasting long. In these times, we're not innovating. In these times, we're not creating. Our world is not evolving for the people. Our world is evolving for things of what the power of what our government, of what people that have money that can buy us into this thinking. It's only, the world is only being made for them now. Think about it. You have to think about it. I'm trying to help you target why you're not producing who you need to produce out of this life for that future self. So now that we've addressed that the basic needs to human life can cause cognitive issues and cognitive biases, which is leading to impulsive decision makings and irrational behaviors, which can ultimately deter you from long-term goals, focus on short-term goals, which produces fears, scarcity max mindsets, a lack of drive, ultimately leading to death. Understand that the people that are putting these things in the geographical locations on purpose and purposely placing you and purposely giving you a misguided educational system and purposely making sure that you're not here for the truth don't need you involved in their plans. They're counting you out. And understand that power is silent, and that if all agree to one and no one is pushing the edge and no one's asking those questions, it would just continue to do so until all is dead. You got to understand that we all are here and designed for a greater purpose. All right? Because not having money, resources, people, it puts you at a place of vulnerability in unsafe situations. You're at high risk for cruelty and could produce psychopaths or antisocial personalities. What do you mean that poverty can birth psychopaths or antisocial behaviors or realities, which is ultimately realities? I mean, let's just paint the picture clear. So this is a distortion and a distraction. Poverty should not be of one's character. For a good, fertile, and a foundation, because to understand that no matter what, in order to achieve success in life, you have to cultivate success. You have to build a growth mindset. You have to embrace challenges as learning opportunities. You have to have a goal. How do we know to shape our minds in a goal when all we have been given and subject to was poverty? When our parents did not have the mindsets and did not have the growth foundation they need to continue us into understanding that we are beings of a higher nature, of a higher power. When they were targeting our generations, you have to understand that we have to take it back. You have to identify who you are. You have to identify where you're from. You have to identify, where am I here? Why am I here? You have to identify your destiny. You have to identify your potential. So you have to understand, to change your perception of who you are and why you exist is to discover why you are important. It's to discover why they have geographically placed you in locations and have geographically made sure that you and your families did not have the same resources, the same opportunities as those in other geographical locations may have. Understand that money buys you areas that can provide you healthy educations, a healthy life, a healthy mind. But it's either that you were born into that significance or you have to create that significance. In the world of human race, you are born for a higher significance. But understand that your attitude has to be the product of your belief first. then the rest changes. Let's get into it.